Good morning. Let's see. It is a good morning
It
today.
is a good morning.
So I got to get my right stuff here. Anyway, many people spend their life at the mercy of circumstances, living at the mercy of what happens to them, maybe even living at the mercy of what other people think and feel. That's what we're going to be talking about today. If you want to live a great life, you don't want to allow these five things to control you.
Chuck and Angela run multiple million-dollar companies. They are members of Riz Media's Billionaire Club, have coached and mentored thousands of agents, and are international speakers. They say by radically changing your mindset, not only can you change your outlook on life, but affect the actual results you obtain. Welcome to Midweek Mindfreak.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Excellent. I love Midweek Mindfreak. It takes the middle of the week and just gets your mindset.
Freaks you out.
It doesn't freak you out.
Freaks you out.
No, it does not freak you out. Anyway, it's to get your mindset, because you know what? We live in a world that there's just so much stuff out there that's controlling how you think and you feel, and we just want to, let's get it set right. Talking about this topic today. But anyway, before we talk about this topic today, what's the problem today?
I don't know. I feel what's coming.
No.
Brace yourself.
You're wrong. Yep. Anyway, before we talk about this topic, I seen an article. Since 2012, there's a thing called the World Happiness Report. The World Happiness Report.
Is there really such thing?
Yes, it is. It's put out for the United Nations. Anybody ever hear of the World Happiness Report?
I have not.
Well, there is one. And in 2019, so last year's report that came out, the United States dropped to, what do you think the U.S. is in the World Happiness Report? Anybody out there think of where
like ranking?
Ranking, yes.
Well, I hear a lot of people complain, so I bet you we're not number one at all.
Well, a lot of people like to come to this country. So anybody out there know where we rank in the World Happiness Report last year?
Somebody's Googling it.
No, look, we don't have a crowd that wants to be engaging. Anyway, so here's where we were ranked. We were ranked 19th. 19th. That actually kind of sucks. If you think about it, and everybody talks about the United States, on the World Happiness Report, we were number 19. That's the lowest we've been since it debuted in 2012.
How does one measure for the World Happiness Report?
They ask people if they're happy, and then they just take a head count. I don't know. Anyway, so rank them. Could you guess who was number one?
Italy.
Yeah, actually, they were like 40th or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Budapest.
No. Anyway, I will say, because you're just blurting out shit
I
right
am.
now.
Just places like
so
that.
On the World Happiness Report, second year in a row was Finland.
Really?
Finland. And then look, you want to hear the top?
Do they all smoke weed?
I don't know. The top ones, it's Finland, Denmark, Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, Netherlands, and Sweden.
It's all around there.
Is that like a pattern?
I don't know. Let's
or
go
something?
visit.
They eat a lot of sushi, a lot of fresh fish.
I think they smoke weed, and I think they go in saunas all the time.
Well, because it's so damn cold out, maybe they just do a lot of snuggling, which makes them happy. You see that?
You think snuggling would make you happy?
Yeah.
Would it give you a cherub-like demeanor?
It would.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Okay. So, yes, I do have a cherub-like demeanor. And for people who think that that's not true, I was going through some of my old baby pictures, and I found one of my old baby pictures. That's
so stupid.
That's me, my cherub-like demeanor.
Come on now. I want to put that on my Instagram so bad. Anyway. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so we're
going to be talking.
Good God. So we're going to be talking about 5 things that you should not let control you.
Yes.
And so we'll start with number 1. There's a lag. We'll start.
Yeah, David.
And don't let yourself be controlled by your past. And I'm 100% sure you've heard this before, but let's take a little another twist on it. I don't think there's a person alive that doesn't have something that they could dwell on from their past, something negative, something toxic, a hurt, whatever. We all have that, some worse than others, I will admit. But I want you to hear what God has to say about this. I think he knows a little something.
A little something about.
Yeah.
A little something.
So in Philippians, brothers, I do not consider that I have made it my own, but one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. That's from a guy who used to kill Christians for like fun, right? He was a bad dude. Saul that became Paul.
Bad dude.
He was awful. And he even understands that
he walked around with a t-shirt saying, I'm a bad dude.
Right? And here's
I'm
another
a
one
bad mamma jamma.
from Isaiah. Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The point is you can't let your past control the way that you live your life today. Mm-hmm. And it's not easy. And I'm not saying you just forget. There are two things that you can do with your past that's helpful. Number 1, you can look back on it and you can learn, right? Let's learn some things from the things that happened in the past. But even more than that, what Chuck and I do on a regular basis is we look at the hurts and the hardships and the awfulness from our past, and we are grateful. We're grateful to God that he brought us through it, out of it, over it, around it, and that we're getting better every day. So that's the right perspective on your past, is to learn and be grateful and then let the rest go.
All right. Next is don't be controlled by relationships. You know, I know this can be a touchy subject for some people, but here's what we're talking about. I'm going to dive into this a little bit. If you're always needing another to be happy or to feel complete, you're always one moment away from a breakdown if that person doesn't meet your expectations. And one of the things that we realize, especially in our relationship, is that what we're doing is every human being is broken. We're all broken. Nobody's perfect. And what we try to do is we try to put the other one into a box, that relationship, that they have to be just the way we want them to be, perfect. And we're controlled by that. Mm-hmm. And you're always going to set yourself up for failure. You're always going to set yourself up for disappointment, mm-hmm. being miserable. And I'm just, what we talk about, don't be controlled by relationships, is maybe number 1, the facade of what a relationship should be like, or 2 is that you can't live being single. So if you're single out there, what people try to do is they always force relationships just so they're not alone. Mm-hmm. You got to be happy with yourself. If you're not happy and content with yourself or like yourself,
this will never happen.
You can never be in a strong, good relationship. Mm-hmm. So don't be controlled by relationships, guys. I'm telling you, you don't need another person to be happy. But I will tell you, when you are in a strong relationship, because there's no greater force than love and connection. When you're in a great relationship, there's nothing better. But don't force it, guys. Don't be controlled by one. So being controlled by relationships is 2.
Yes. And number 3, this one's a little bit tricky, so I'm going to unpack it just a little bit, but don't let yourself be controlled by your own limiting beliefs. And we've talked about that a little bit. You project them on yourself. The problem with limiting beliefs is that more often than not, you're not consciously limiting yourself. More often than not, it's something unconscious that you're not quite aware of. So how do you become aware of some things, beliefs that you have that limit you? Well, there's a couple of things that you can do. You can literally brainstorm your general beliefs. What are your beliefs about relationships, finances, health, about God, about anything, family? If you write some of these things down, then you have to ask yourself whether a particular belief is freeing you, right? Because beliefs either free you or they limit you. So for example, let's say, so you could brainstorm and then you can start to question, is there any part of this that is limiting me, right? Assessing your negative behaviors is another thing. When you act badly, that exposes something. And it could possibly expose, you don't ever act badly.
Not me,
you know why?
because
yeah,
I was born with a
Mhm.
cherub-like demeanor.
I know some of you are screenshotting that, and it's going to end up on Facebook for sure. Thank you. Who does that? Send it to me. I'm going to put it on my Instagram. But assess your negative behaviors. When you're acting badly, there's something underneath that. It's probably your problem and not somebody else's. Like when I get angry, it's because maybe I'm being selfish. You know, maybe it's not going my way or whatever. And some of these beliefs can be limiting as well. And finally, you got to analyze the areas in your life where you struggle. Okay, so where are you struggling? Let's say you struggle with conflict. You don't like to speak your mind. And the problem with this, if you don't like to speak your mind because you don't like conflict, you think conflict is bad, that's actually limiting you. And the reason is you cannot possibly have deep relationships without conflict. So therefore, if you shy away all the time from conflict and deep conversation, you're never going to have deep relationships.
And you know what? I think one of the reasons why conflicts are so important in a relationship, it's that one word that we always say every relationship is built on, and that is
communication.
No.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Right.
Yeah, well, trust.
It was close.
Trust. Don't
make me bust that cherub-like demeanor.
Nope. Trust. And when you show that you can have conflict or speak your mind, what you're basically saying is to the other person is, look, I trust you enough that I can open my heart out and talk about what I want to talk about. And that you would respect the opinion. We live in a world, man, that God forbid you speak your mind.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people shy away from conflict, because they don't trust other people anymore. There's no trust.
I trust you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, we were talking about the other day, if you didn't listen to that, I just want to sidetrack a little on the world we live in with trust, because we were going on our walk and the Amazon guy was delivering the package. And now what they do is they have to take pictures.
Right.
And if you really think about that, that's all because we don't trust each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad.
And we're not trustworthy.
Anyway, you done with your one there?
Yes.
My next one is don't be consumed or controlled, that's the word, by other people's judgments and beliefs. You know, the need to feel wanted and fit in could just suck the life out of you, man. We always say people pleasing is actually a curse.
It is.
It is a curse. You need to ask yourself, whenever you're doing something, are you doing something because you're doing it because you feel like you're going to be judged if you don't do it? Or if you do it, it's just always, it needs to be you. You have to do what you want to do. And like I said, and it really relates back to the society we live in. We just feel like if we don't conform, we're just going to get bashed and crushed and ridiculed. It's sad. No, I'm not saying that you can't have your own opinions or somebody can't have their own opinions. And quite honestly, if someone's in your life that has different opinions and just really don't mesh with yours, I'm not saying stay around them. But what I'm just saying is stop being a people pleaser. Mm-hmm. God created you uniquely to be you. And maybe you're miserable because that's all you do is try to...
Yeah, because you're not being what God made you.
Fit in. You know, here's what you're really doing is you're dimming the light God gave you to be in that dull background. And sometimes people are judgmental because they're miserable. Guess what?
Yeah.
There are a lot of miserable people.
We are low on the happiness scale, I guess.
Yeah, if you heard it from the beginning.
I'm not.
We're 19th on the happiness scale in the country.
In the world.
In the world, yeah, that's right. Really. And so miserable people, there's that phrase, what? Misery loves company. Mm-hmm. And people don't want you to be happy or don't want you to strive or be successful. It's kind of like when we made the move to eXp Realty. All these naysayers, it's because they didn't want to take a chance, mm-hmm. or they were being fed other crap. And what they do is they like to get into people's ear and suck the life out of you.
Don't let them.
No, and then what happens is you're still miserable.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't get you anywhere. So stop being a people pleaser and being controlled by what other people think about you and their judgments.
Right, right. And the last one is do not be controlled by money. Now, money is not bad. I am not afraid of money. We are friends.
Don't scare me.
We are friends.
Money does not scare me.
Money's not bad or evil. It's the love of money. That's what the Bible says. The love of money is the root of all evil. And I think too many people, if you are taking a decision and it's solely about the money, it's probably controlling you. Like, you've got to really think about how what your feelings and your beliefs are connecting with money. Now, money can do wonderful things. It's not bad or evil, but people can be definitely controlled. Obviously, like, look at what money and power does to people. It just absolutely exposes their hearts, right?
Yeah, and going aside, a little different sidetrack from a business aspect. People they focus on the dollar. So, for example, how much are they paying for something?
Right.
Or what are they going to get for that? But what they don't focus on is the freedom sometimes you have to sacrifice that actual dollar amount to gain way more and then gain freedom. What are you smiling about?
This is awesome.
What?
What?
Wow.
See, I'm not afraid of money.
Yep, we don't focus on that.
No,
that is just
good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
a little sidetrack. If you want to hear about EXP Realty, reach out to us.
Yeah, for sure.
Changing the industry.
Unless you're afraid of money.
Stop listening to. Yeah, somebody said that.
Curtis
Shewell said
What are you
that
afraid
to
of money?
somebody. They go, I'm not into EXP. And he goes, what are you afraid of money?
It's so good.
Anyway, so guys, don't be controlled by things. Live your life. Surround yourself with the right people. You're going to feel inspired. You're going to feel great. Look, we're being information overload with negative, and it's definitely affecting us, and it's affecting people. Get out of that. Get out of that type of realm. Stop being controlled. And we're always excited to just breathe a little fresh air into you guys.
Yes.
And, speaking of breathing fresh air and being like my cherub-like demeanor, one more time for you people who did not get to see my baby picture when they say I was born with a cherub-like demeanor, I will leave you guys off with this to enjoy your day.
That's a lot.
That's me, born, my baby picture. Very, very cute baby.
Oh my gosh, God bless you guys.
God bless you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for